Welcome to the historic Thomas H. Hickman House. This brick house that you are visiting today was built in 1819 by Thomas Hickman. While Hickman built the house, the family lived in Fort Hempstead, which was included in the land he had acquired. There is good evidence that brick for the house was fired in a kiln located just east of the house site. Plenty of clay for making the brick was found between the house site and the fort. The fort was about 200 yards to the northwest. Water for making brick and mortar was plentiful from the springs that flowed out of the hill at Fort Hempstead. Sand for making mortar was found nearby in Sulphur Creek. Limestone for the house and summer kitchen foundations and crushed limestone for mortar came from the limestone bluff east of New Franklin. Timbers for floor joists and roof rafters were recycled, probably from the fort. They show evidence that they were used previously in another building, and you will see some of the evidence in the dining room. All of the lumber for flooring, trim, window frames, door panels, and roof shingles was harvested and milled on Hickman's farm. All of the flooring in the house was milled tongue and groove, which could even be done at that early date. Wood trim was shaped by trim carpenters in Franklin. Hardware for the windows and doors was probably made by several blacksmiths in business in Franklin. Hickman, as a Franklin merchant, probably ordered things that couldn't be made in Franklin at that time, like window and door glass and paint from back east. He could order almost anything from Philadelphia. Hickman built the house on the Southern Georgian cottage style, something he was very familiar with because it was common in Kentucky. He faced the house west for two main reasons. The front and back doors could be opened in the summertime to allow the prevailing westerly winds to cool the house, and it would also face the road that ran between the fort and Franklin. The foundation is limestone and about 2 feet wide. The exterior walls are all brick and about 14 inches thick. The brick on the front or west exterior is laid in a Flemish bond pattern, a fancier pattern than the sides and the back of the house, which is a common bond pattern. Certain rows of bricks on the exterior walls show evidence that scaffold boards were inserted so masons could work up the sidewalls without moving ladders. Lime putty mortar was used to lay all the brick. The house is considered a 1.5 story. The roof has a high slope with cedar shake shingles. In the hallway, next to the back door, is another door opening to a 90-degree curved stairway that leads to the attic. Because of the high roof and the width of the house, the attic is large enough to be a living area, and we believe it originally contained 2 bedrooms. The main floor has 4 large rooms, 2 on each side, separated by an 8-foot wide hallway. Both front and back doors measure about 4 feet wide by 7.5 feet tall, are very thick, and weigh about 100 pounds apiece. The interior walls on both sides of the hallway are all brick and about 11 inches thick. The tongue and groove flooring in the hallway is walnut and about 90% original. The baseboard, chair rail, and door trim in the hallway is walnut and all original. All of the paint matches the original colors. The front door has a fanlight window, another characteristic of this style of house. All interior walls are covered with horsehair plaster and paint. Each room has a fireplace and chimney. All of the ceilings are 11 feet high and were originally lath covered with plaster and paint. Starting from the first room to the right as you enter the front door and going counterclockwise, the rooms are a parlor, a children's bedroom, a dining room, and a master bedroom. Even though some maintenance of the house had been done over the years, deterioration and random modifications made it obvious by 2005 that the house needed a facelift. In 2006, the house was put on the National Register of Historic Places. Also at that time, the Research Center Superintendent, Dr. Gene Garrett, coordinated a fundraising effort to rehabilitate the house. Through private donations, federal grants acquired with much help from then-Senator Kit Bond, a Missouri Community Development Grant through the City of New Franklin, and some matching funds from the College of Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources, the money was raised. The goal was to return the house as close to original as possible within the budget. The rehabilitation started in October of 2006 and was completed in the spring of 2009. Once the exterior of the house was stabilized and sealed up, work on the interior began. At the time that the house was built, Thomas Hickman had acquired the deed to Fort Hempstead and the land it sat on from James Beatty, a man who owed a large debt to Hickman's mercantile business. Beatty signed the property over to satisfy the debt. With all of this evidence, we believe it is safe to assume that Hickman recycled these building materials from the fort and used them in the house.